Even today, Pompeii's sexual artifacts provoke embarrassment and controversy. And these objects are just the tip of the iceberg.
Just the tip. That's
they
too
reveal
many.
a more shocking side of Pompeii. The deeper historians dig, the more unsettling details emerge of an elaborate system of sex in this ancient city. The clues are everywhere, from stone phalluses on public streets to crude graffiti carved into granite walls. They appear to reveal a...
Wow. That's Satan. That is Satan.
See those gadgets? Well, now the technology you need to power them comes at a great price.
Lock it.
CenturyLink gives you enough internet speed to
right
power
back
all your
into it.
devices.
The subject...
What ran against Christian morality of the day.
It contains relics of...
A nanny goat. And there was horror among everyone. And the king said, right, excavation's closed.
Even today, Pompeii's sexual artifacts provoke embarrassment and controversy. And these objects are just the tip of the
You know what
iceberg.
he just said?
They reveal a more shocking...
You know what he said? He just said prophecy. Let me get the verse for it. This is the book of Jeremiah 13 and 26. It's the book of Jeremiah 13 verse 26. And it says, therefore will I discover thy skirt upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. You hear what he said? He said it's a shameful thing that Pompeii was found the way it was found. But that was the Most High preserving that place so it can be found today, and this information can come out before the Most High destroys. Shows why he destroyed Pompeii. So it wasn't an unjust thing that Pompeii met that end, man. Read it again. It says, therefore I will discover thy skirt upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. Alright, and then listen to what he just said.
Among everyone. And the king said, right, excavation's closed.
Even today, Pompeii's sexual artifacts provoke embarrassment and controversy. And these objects are just the tip of the iceberg. They reveal a more shocking side of Pompeii. The deeper historians dig, the more unsettling details emerge of an elaborate system of sex in this ancient city. The clues are everywhere, from stone phalluses on public streets to crude graffiti carved into granite walls. They appear to reveal a population trading in decadence, perversion, prostitution, and sexual slavery. Professor Andrew Wallace Hadrill's groundbreaking research has forced us to rethink the way we look at the Roman Empire. Wallace Hadrill has uncovered secrets that the city itself didn't want to disclose.
This isn't how a Roman city wanted to present itself to posterity, not the big public writings inscribed in marble and bronze, the great rhetorical statements that a city wanted to make about itself. These are the trivial scribblings that weren't meant to be heard. And we're allowed in on a conversation we weren't meant to hear.
One message emerges very clearly. Pompeii was in the business of selling sex, and on a large scale. The action ranged from fast and inexpensive curbside sex to private sex parties with the Roman equivalent of call girls. But given that 80% of the population was poor, it's safe to say that most of the sex was quick and dirty. Professor Thomas McGinn is an authority on the economics of prostitution in ancient Rome.
You hear that? It says majority of the population was broke. So what place today, modern day place, should ring your bells? The land of California, man. The land of pornography, the land of this defiled wickedness, man. This is a reincarnation, man. Things repeat itself. Alright, but let me get this verse. This is the book of Ephesians. This is the book of Ephesians 5 and 5. And it says, this is Ephesians 5 verse 5, and it says, "For this ye know that no whoremonger," what's a whoremonger? A seller of women. Pimp. Okay? Because this is a city of whoremongering, man. And it says, For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater. That was this. Man, put Pompeii, put America, put the modern day. This put it in here. This is Ephesians 5 verse 5. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, have any inheritance in the kingdom of Mashiach and of Yahweh. Let no man deceive you with vain words, but for because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. But not ye therefore partakers with them, for ye were sometimes, it says, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now ye are in light, and in the Lord walk as children of light. That's why we're being brought out of this madness, man. We're being found out. The Most High has given us this truth to see this, to see that we have examples through history what's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. The Most High showed you he destroyed Pompeii for the things that they done. So how much more America that does it on a vast scale and spreads it all through the world, man?
We're standing in front of a crib, a small room lying off of a street or an alley where a prostitute would have conducted business. The prostitute or her pimp would have been outside in the street soliciting customers, perhaps either directly in front or in a bar or some other place close by, bringing them through a patchwork curtain or a small wooden door into this room, where you see a stone bed with a stone pillow. In ancient times, there would have been a mattress, some cushions, perhaps, strewn over the stone in order to make it a bit more comfortable.
13 of these curbside cribs have been identified, all nearby Pompeii's 153 local taverns. But the undisputed central location for paid sex was here, on a main street in the center of town, near the Forum and the marketplace.
Alright, so let's read back on Pompeii. And it says, let's scroll down a little bit. It says the ruins of Pompeii. This is back in Wikipedia. It says the ruins of Pompeii are located near modern suburban town of Pompeii, nowadays written the One Eye. It stands on the supper formed by lava flowing to the north out of the mouth of Sinoe River, known in ancient times as the Sarnus. Let's go down to early history. And it says archaeologists dig at the site extending to the street level of the 79 AD volcanic event. Deeper digs in older parts of Pompeii, a core sample of nearby drilling, have exposed lava of jumbling sediment that suggests that the city had suffered other seismic events before the eruption. 3 streets of sediment have been found on top of the lava that lies below the city, and mixed in with the sediment, archaeologists have found bits of animal bones, pottery, shards, and plants. Carbon dating has determined the oldest of these layers have been layers to be from the 8th to 6th century. We don't know about that carbon dating, but around the time of the city, was founded. The 2 steria are separate. Let me jump down real quick to about right here. It says in the 5th century BC, Shamanites conquered it. Shamanites. Let's we'll look up the Shamanites real quick. It says Shamanites were Italic people living in Samniu in south central Italy who fought several wars with the Roman Republic. The Shamanites were Ocean speaking people, and they were probably an offshoot of the Sabians. The Shamanites formed a confederate of tribes: Hirpin, Cuban, Karasin, and Panatri. They were allied with Rome against the Gauls in the 354 BC, but later became enemies of the Romans and were soon involved in a series of 3 wars. Alright, the Punics. And it says the Samnites in the town of Campania, the new rulers imposed their architecture and enlarged the town. After the Shamanite Wars, 4th century BC, Pompeii was forced to accept the statue of Circum of Rome. Okay, and if you look up that Circum of Rome, pretty much made to be put under Rome's subjection. It says we'll look it up, because I think this is the same thing right here. Yeah, Circum of Rome. Because if you click on Circum, it'll take you right. Slovakia. But Circum is this is giving me problems, but it's to be like it's a colony of Rome. It says it as we read on. And it says, a Circum of Rome, maintaining, however, linguistic and administrative autonomy. Pretty much, they got to keep their ways and the things that they did. That's why you had the phallic worship that kept on going in there, and they worshiped Pan. Okay, that was probably a part of their old, the old worship of those tribes that was there before. It says in the 4th century BC, it was fortified. Pompeii remained faithful to the Romans during the Second Punic War. Alright, if we look at the Second Punic War, it says the Second Punic War, also referred as the Hannibalic War by the Romans, the war against Hannibal, of the Carthaginian War, lasted from 218 to 201 BC and involved the combatants in the western and eastern Mediterranean. It was a second major war between Carthage and the Roman Republic. Alright, and Carthage is right here. Okay, shows you where Carthage is at. Alright, if you want another different map, here's another map right here. Okay, this is the land of Carthage. It's Carthage and the Roman Republic, with the crucial participation of the Nubian Barb's army, Nubian Babar armies, and tribes on both sides. The two states had 3 major conflicts against each other. Now, if we read up with Hannibal, you can go into Babylon to Timbuktu. Alright. And if you read Babylon to Timbuktu, and I got this, and I found this a video from the brothers from GMS Arkansas also. They brought this out on a video. You can just type in Hannibal as an Israelite on Google and it'll pop up. And right here on page 29 it reads, it says, the city of Carthage was called Queen of the Sea. It says the Carthaginians controlled the commerce in the Mediterranean Sea. A new nation emerged in the peninsula of Italy, Rome, which challenged the commercial interest and supremacy of Carthage in the Mediterranean. The state of hostility led to 3 long wars called the Punic Wars. The first Punic War was in the year 264 to 241 BC, mostly naval battles with which Italy won. The second Punic War was fought in the year 218 to 201 BC. A black general by the name of Hannibal was the extraordinary figure who did what was considered the impossible by crossing the Alps with elephants. In Italy, he was victorious over the Romans. He was very resourceful and crafty. When he got into a difficult situation, at one time he would drive herds of cattle into the Romans. His unexpected victories amazed and terrified the city of Rome. But at the end, because of the lack of men and supplies, he had to return to Africa, Carthage. The Third Punic War was the years of 149 to 146 BC and fought at Zama in Africa. Because of Hannibal's skills in warfare, his strategy is taught to military colleagues around the world. But that shows you that it wasn't set up for the Romans to go down. They had to fulfill prophecy, okay? So that's it on that. We'll go back to the Pompeii reading. And it says, the town became an important passage for goods and arrived in the city and had been sent towards Rome and the South Italy along nearby Appian Way. Okay, and we know that to be like the main highway of Rome. We'll read what Appian Way was. And it says Appian Way, Latin and Italian, Via Appia. Via Appia was one of the earliest and strategic and most important Roman roads of the ancient republic, and connected Rome in British Aquifia, Aquileia, and southern Italy. Its importance is indicated by its common name recorded by Statius. Alright, so that's what the Appian Way was. So let's read that again. Back in Pompeii in Wikipedia it says it became a Roman colony in the name of Collina. It says the town became a very important passage for goods and arrived by sea and had to be sent towards Rome in southern Italy along the nearby Appian Way. Alright, so let's go back to this. So that shows you that information, just the history on Pompeii, but that shows you why the Most High destroyed Pompeii, because of the things that they were doing in there. So let's get some scripts to tie in to the destruction of Pompeii, which is going to mirror the destruction of America today, because it does the same things that was going on in Pompeii and worse. Alright, that's what I'm saying. It's probably California reincarnated, or one of the other, maybe Las Vegas or something. So let's get 2 Peter's. This is the book of 2 Peter's 2 and 6. 2 Peter's 2 verse 6, and it says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemning what did they find? And what did they find Pompeii in? Ashes. They found the people's bodies were still ash, that was plastered in ash. And it says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ash, condemning them with the overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So it was an example. So the same thing that they was doing, the Most High is showing what happens, man. And it says, and delivering just Lot vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Alright, let me jump to Genesis 9 and 24. It's the book of Genesis 9, verse 24, 19 and 24. And it says, then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plains and all the inhabitants of the cities and which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Ashes, man. It's like you see in this exhibit that he's about to say right
all
here.
of these objects have survived, and why we understand so much about Pompeii and Herculaneum, and that is the terrible tragedy that occurred in AD 79 when the two towns were destroyed by the eruption of Vesuvius. Lots of people are familiar with the plaster casts of the voids left by bodies which had decayed and had been in the ash from Pompeii. But there's another, well, this is actually a person. This is a real woman's skeleton, which was discovered in the Villa of Aplontis near Pompeii, and it's been cast in resin, and it's very, very difficult to look at, because when you actually get down and see her face, it's a grimace of pure pain and anguish, and it's a reminder of the sombre context for this show. That's why it's called Life and Death in Pompeii and Herculaneum.
Read that again, man. Let me read that one more time, and I'm gonna end on that. This is Genesis 19, and it says, but his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Okay, that's what a lot of you people are gonna become in the last days if you make it to those missiles, man. Because the Most High is gonna do it again. So with that, all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Up on sale is a GMS. This video ran a little long, but I hope you brothers were edified. Shalom.